Hello there. I am so glad that you could be here today. My name's Rich, channel's called New Memphis, and I don't remember what the next part of the intro was. I should look at that. Let's join together and crack open a heresy beer in the name of the blood god. But before we can move on to the painting, I need to set some expectations for the truly hardcore Warhammer fans out there. And that, of course, in a YouTube-friendly way, comes in the form of a story time. To give a funny example, wait a second, To give a funny example, I was in a Warhammer fantasy roleplay group for a little while, 2nd edition. I was only in it for a couple of months. You're about to see why. I started out as a city watchman, but there is a quirk in how the character building went that made it look like unarmed combat was just like hideously overpowered. Absolutely broken. It obviously did not work that way, but I insisted that it did, mostly because I was just having way too much fun clapping beastmen with my bare hands. And so that was the day that I became Fisticuffs McJones, a renegade watchman who doesn't play by the rules, but gets results. The game master was not always super happy with my antics, which was a shame. I was having a blast. Other highlights included me waiting for literally anything to just touch the ground so I could yell X for the X god, whatever it was, water, lamp oil, horse crap, whatever. It was just hard to pay attention when Khorne was and remains such a laughably non-threatening villain. And on that note, how's that for a segue? This week we're painting Khorne. So this project is actually going to be split into 2 parts. In May, we've painted the first 7 of the original 14 Traitor Guardsmen that I got in the Blackstone Fortress box set. Now, in this project, we are going to be starting on the next 7, because I bought more on eBay, because, you know, addiction. But in addition to those, I have a special surprise from the Kill Team Blooded box set. 2 corrupted Ogryns and 2 enforcers with some light kit bashing. I looked over these for a while, figuring out what I wanted to do, and since I do want my elite units to be different in some way, I thought the best way to do that would be to actually dedicate them to one of the Chaos Gods instead of this sort of muddled, undivided look I've been going for with the rest of the army. The army that's already totally not tabletop legal, but whatever. It'll be whatever. Due to time constraints, though, we are only going to be painting 1 Ogryn and 1 Enforcer this week. But next week, we're going to be doing an Ogryn, an Enforcer, and another 7 Traitor Guardsmen. And we're going to be doing it in a Tzeentchian style, so look forward to that. I'm also going to be posting a couple of polls to see what you guys want to see painted in the coming weeks, so be on the lookout for those. I would love to hear your feedback. Quick reminder, while I have you, to check out the Patreon if you want to support the channel. Subscribe down below. I've heard some rumors that apparently the subscribe button gives you $1 million when you press it below this channel. I can't confirm that. I don't know that as a fact, but it has been presented to me by some very trustworthy people. On the Patreon, you can also read for free the first 5 chapters of my book, Barrowstadt, which is coming out in September. Okay, plug over. Let's get on to the painting. Okay, so I primed these a few months ago in black, with a blast of gray from the top. Given how much skin is showing on these Ogryns, it probably would have been better to just prime them in white, but we'll make it work. To start out, we're going to mix a thin white base coat for the skin. It's okay if it looks a little streaky. We're really just trying to lighten these areas right now. We still have a lot of paint to apply. I mixed way too much white paint for this, so since white is needed for our bases, I decided to start the basing early for the whole lot. These Arctic bases are made with 50-50 mix of Elmer's glue and super glue spread with a paper clip, because you don't need to spend a ton on specialty basing material if you can't afford it. And then there is no better way to continue than the Blood God's favorite metal, brass. Then we'll use flat red for the Enforcer's helmet and the Ogryn's mutated claw. I wanted to also make our Ogryn some fabulous red boots, but I thought better of it and used black-red for the boots and the Enforcer's jacket. I know they aren't really Khorne themed, but to keep these models coherent with the rest of this completely illegal Chaos Army I'm building, I worked in just a few small touches of Nurgling Green, Screamer Pink, and Iron Warriors. I used light green on this guardsman's head buried in the snow. This head got damaged when I was building the models, so I sliced it with a pair of sprue cutters and just glued it to the base for flavor. Now, I love scrolling Instagram looking for ideas when I'm painting, but I feel like every time I see a Khorne model, even when it's extremely well painted, I just sort of end up saying, wow, that is red. To give our models a bit more flavor and contrast, I want to work in a few colors from across the color spectrum. Blue might be a bit much for Khorne, but now that we've finalized the base coat, or as I like to call it, the Happy Meal toy phase of painting, maybe a rich royal purple would help these models retain their color. Let's keep adding water until we have a consistency that will pool in the recesses of the model. Now this might look like there's too much wash on the model, because there is, but we'll dab away a lot of that before it dries. As soon as that's dry, we can get to work on the highlights using the same colors as our base coat, just trying to hit the raised areas and leave the recesses alone. We'll add a few quick highlights of clear orange onto the claw and the helmet. Then a few highlights of flat red to the jacket and the Ogryn's boots. We're also going to add a black wash to their pants, which we haven't painted yet, just to tone down the purple hue. Then we'll use our light green for only the second time to very carefully paint the body of the Enforcer's grenade. I won't spend long on the bases since we covered them in a previous video, but the process for these is a base coat of white, a wash of azure, a dry brush of cork brown, then we use London Grey to pick out a few rocks. After that, a dry brush of white, and then a few more specific highlights of white. I just didn't feel like there was quite enough red for a Khorne paint scheme, so I added some whitewash to the pattern on the Enforcer's jacket, and then a red wash on top of that to make sure it was very, very bright. I did the same with the handle on the Ogryn's Mauler to create a slight glow effect. Pretty similar to the glowing guns we did a few weeks ago. Are you ready for the reveal? I know I am. Quick reminder to subscribe, check the Patreon if you want to support the channel, and let's get on to it. So, how do we feel about this project? I'm feeling a bit divided, honestly. I'm not sure if I do that purple wash again for a Khorne model, but I'm very torn because on the one hand, it does kind of make it look a bit, honestly, Slaanesh-y, but at the same time, I feel like that purple hue just really ties together the brass and the red so well, and it makes the areas that are red just absolutely pop. So I'm kind of torn because on the one hand, they don't look super Khorne, on the other hand, they look extremely. So tell me what you think down in the comments section. Tell me how great they are. Roast me savagely. Remember to subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.